Dust reigned in the halls of mechanical. It shivered free from the violence of the digging. Wires overhead swung gently in their harnesses. Pipes rattled. And from the generator room, staccato bangs filled the air, bounced off the walls, and brought to mind a time when unbalanced machines spun dangerously. At the locus of the horrible racket, Juliette Nichols stood with her coverall zipped down to her waist, the loose arms knotted around her hips, dust and sweat staining her undershirt with mud. She leaned her weight against the excavator, her sinewy arms shaking as the digger's heavy metal piston slammed into the concrete wall of Silo 18 over and over. The vibrations could be felt in her teeth. Every bone and joint in her body shuddered, and old wounds ached with reminders. Off to the side, the miners who normally manned the excavator watched unhappily. Juliette turned her head from the powdered concrete and saw the way they stood with their arms crossed over their wide chests, their jaws set in rigid frowns, angry perhaps for her appropriating their machine. Or maybe over the taboo of digging where digging was forbidden. Juliette swallowed the grit and chalk accumulating in her mouth and concentrated on the crumbling wall. There was another possibility, one she couldn't help but consider. Good mechanics and miners had died because of her. Brutal fighting had broken out when she'd refused to clean. How many of these men and women watching her dig had lost a loved one, a best friend, a family member? How many of them blamed her? She couldn't possibly be the only one. The excavator bucked, and there was the clang of metal on metal. Juliette steered the punching jaws to the side as more bones of rebar appeared in the white flesh of concrete. She had already gouged out a veritable crater in the outer silo wall. A first row of rebar hung jagged overhead, the ends smooth like melted candles, where she'd taken a blowtorch to them. 2 more feet of concrete, and another row of the iron rods had followed, the silo walls thicker than she'd imagined. With numb limbs and frayed nerves, she guided the machine forward on its tracks, the wedge-shaped piston chewing at the stone between the rods. If she hadn't seen the schematic for herself, if she didn't know there were other silos out there, she would have given up already. It felt as though she were chewing through the very earth itself. Her arms shook, her hands a blur. This was the wall of the silo she was attacking, ramming it with a mind to pierce through the damn thing, to bore clear through to the outside. The miners shifted uncomfortably. Juliette looked from them to where she was aiming as the hammer bit rang against more steel. She concentrated on the crease of white stone between the bars. With her boot, she kicked the drive lever, leaned into the machine, and the excavator trudged forward on rusted tracks 1 more inch. She should have taken another break a while ago. The chalk in her mouth was choking her. She was dying for water. Her arms needed a rest. Rubble crowded the base of the excavator and littered her feet. She kicked a few of the larger chunks out of the way and kept digging.